Gotta ask, as a Buffalo Bills fan, how would I describe these, because I really wanted to touch upon it. You gotta figure out how to stop the run. You gotta figure out how to utilize James Cook and get the running game. The Bills tried this Peyton Manning, Tony Dungy, Jim Caldwell style, or what Manning did with Gary Kubiak in Denver, of less explosive offense, less turnovers, and run the ball and kind of slow it down. It didn't work. They've tried four different strategies against Kansas City and they've lost four different ways. You were up 10-0 in the first game. You lost to Kansas City. Mahomes came back, ran you off the field. Lost by 14. Second game was the classic. 13 seconds, Tyreek Hill beat you. Then you lost at home last year. It was Diggs dropped the ball, missed field goal. This game, fourth down, they run the safety blitz on you. Those two botched 2-point conversions. Kansas City made it 2-point conversion. You lose by 3. And somewhere along the lines is coaching, and you have to figure out the read between the lines. Josh Allen is 0-4 against Kansas City. He's lost 4 times to them. He's 7-6 in the postseason. You don't get better miraculously. It's like after a while, you got to look at the coach and say, is this working or isn't it? Your 2 AFC championship games, I think in the last 4 years, because you lost in the second round 2 years ago, and you lost in the second round last year, and you lost AFC championship. So think about it. How 4 years in your windows have been. 4 times to Kansas City. Lost that heartbreaker to Houston, which I won't forget. Got smashed by Cincinnati. So, and I just think, like, what else can they possibly do? What can you do? It has to start with the coach. I don't know how much longer you can tolerate being so close but not being close. James Cook got to run the ball. The same thing I got mad with. Now, do I think Buffalo should have beat Kansas City yesterday? No. I thought Baltimore should be Buffalo. I didn't. And I'm going to tell you why. When you honest as the fan, you got to be in totality. If it wasn't for that fumble by Mahomes, touchdown field goal, 10-3, 14-3, you're behind the 8 ball. You're not stopping nobody on offense. You're not stopping. So that's problematic. Von Miller is basically just a cardboard cutout of himself. He's getting paid nicely. He ain't stopping nothing nicely. He ain't really been the same since he got hurt in that game against Detroit. And that was like a couple years ago. He's really not been much of a factor. They got him at the tail end. You need to decide to get a playmaker with your receiver. I would utilize a tight end fullback. I would get more powerful. Josh did calm down a bit with overrunning, but that fourth down play, he was stopped cold. The tuck tush, he's the tuck tush. Unlike Philadelphia, when they do it like a stretch limousine, what Allen is trying to do is push forward. It didn't work. And that was the turning point in the game. Kansas City drove the ball down, beat them. As a matter of fact, after 22-21, Kansas City outscored them 11-7. So you got to take in consideration what you're not doing. You're losing momentum. You got to finish games up. And that starts with the coach. I think that there's the reason why the Andy Reid Mahomes, because the ego matches the ego. When the ego doesn't match the ego, you come up short. This is another Marty Schottenheimer, not Dan Air Coryell, but it's a situation. Is this Chuck Knox reminding me of Buffalo? I mean, where you feel so happy, but then you get kind of numb. But then you do have to point the finger why you're not getting it done. They were impressive to do this without Stephon Diggs, but did they get any better? Beating Kansas City in the regular season, losing to them in Kansas City, that's nothing to go. You want a runner-up prize? That's what Nick Wright's got for you, a runner-up flag on your pole. Didn't finish the job. So it's a tough year. It's a tough end to a season that looked promising. And I don't know if you get over the hump. I don't know. I got to ask, can they win with Josh Allen? I don't know. I know that hit talent wise, he's supposed to be better than Jim Kelly, but Jim Kelly went to 4 straight Super Bowls. Now, you did have Thurman Thomas, and you did have an explosive offense. Was the AFC a stack? Was there a Patrick Mahomes in your way back then? No. You beat Dan Marino and you're good. You beat Warren Moon and you're good. Pittsburgh was feisty, got through it, came back, greatest comeback ever. Or was it Houston? We couldn't beat Pittsburgh, came back through Houston. That was the greatest comeback ever. But the NFC was beaten, was the culprit. Got through the AFC, on the AFC, just didn't finish the chip job. You know. Sent Joe Montana into retirement. This is going to be a little bit tougher. And I don't know what to tell you. Because when you're in an era when you have a dominant quarterback and a dominant team, you might get an off year, but you might not. Ask Dan Marino. He had one trip to the Super Bowl, and that was it. Now, Burrow's been to one Super Bowl. Lamar hasn't. Lamar's been to one AFC Championship game. Josh Allen's been to 2. You do the math. Mahomes has been 7 straight AFC Championship games. He's now in his 5th Super Bowl. And he's leaving everybody in the dust. You start to get old. And if you always like an injury or something that could happen and you just might not get your call in. And if he wins another ring, forget about it. Because then he's on an island. He's already on the island alone. It's just tough being a Bills fan because you didn't see one dynasty with Brady and the Patriots, and then you got the Mahomes with Kansas City. And it's like, do you ever catch a break? Will you ever catch a break? It's really that tough. And those 90s Bills, I mean, they lost, but I loved them, though. Because I knew Marv Levy was the best man and it would fit. And I still am a firm believer with a Marv Levy type of coach with Josh Allen, they'd have figured out how to get by Kansas City by now. I just do. I just think Sean McDermott is missing something. And it ain't translating. And that's not to say he ain't a very good coach, because he's a really good coach. He ain't great, though. And there's a big difference. I'm sorry. You got to get it to the next level. You got to connect it. You know, and that's a fact. The Bills got a lot of head scratch things to do. It's common sense. You're a defensive oriented head coach. You got to profess defense. You got to get back in the trenches. I know the AFC East is cookie cutter and soft as a cupcake, and you ain't got. And we'll see what Aaron Glenn does with the Jets and Mike Vrabel with New England. But it's all about Tua, and can he play? And if he can't play, Miami's the only thing that's second place, and we're gonna run the division. But does that mean 55 flags on your pole, but no flag that counts for the chip? What does it mean? So it's a lot to think about. And Josh Allen, I don't know how many more chances you'll get. It's gonna be tough. So it's a bitter end to a season. But this ain't the tough loss as it was with the 13-second game. That one is still tougher than this was. Because I don't think the Bills really played to win this game. I think they played to be close. I don't think they played to necessarily win this game, because if they played to win this game, they would have pounded the ball. They would have looked at what Baltimore didn't do and do it to Kansas City. And you have to gut it out, grind it out, and keep them in time of possession. And they got caught into something that ended the usual. So I wasn't surprised by how it ended. But you tell me what you think. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another and share it if you like, and hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.